Hello, my perfect angel fantasy romance loving besties. How are you? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Rachel, and today is a very exciting day. Today's video is going to be my Romantasy Readathon reading vlog. The Romantasy Readathon was created by the stunning Tori Between Pages, and as soon as I heard about it, I was like, yep, absolutely, I'm there, let's go. I have to participate. I am so excited for this week. Obviously, the Romantasy Readathon is a week-long fantasy romance readathon where we focus on the best, in my opinion, a subgenre. So one of the really exciting things about this readathon is that there are 4 teams that you can choose from, and those different teams have different prompts, and that can kind of help you and guide you through the week. So I picked the Dark Romance Readers team. I really like the prompts for that. That is also hosted by Tori and Katie at Katie's Book Nook. So I'm very excited to be a dark romance gal this week. So without further ado, let me walk you through the prompts of Team Dark Romance Readers and what I'm going to be reading this week. Okay, so the first prompt is a forbidden romance trope. I feel like probably all of the books that I'm planning to read this week could fit this prompt in one way or another, but I decided for this prompt I was going to be reading Blood of Desiderium by Ali Steb. So Blood of Desiderium is a new adult dark fantasy romance. I'm just going to read the synopsis, just like a little bit of it, because there's a lot of moving parts in this book, but I am excited for it. So in the lands of Deadram, I believe, where every fae possesses power, Princess Emma is the only one forced without. Confined in the walls of her palace by her father, she's desperate for a taste of freedom, that is, until she discovers the truth. Everything she thought she knew was a lie, and something evil plagues her lands. There is a betrothal that tests her, a mysterious vigilante who teases her, a dark prince who doesn't trust her, and a phantom that invades her dreams. So I think that this sounds really intriguing. I'm very excited to see how Princess Emma escapes her father's grip and what is going to happen with her and all of these different characters. Cami sent this to me a few months ago and she was like, hey, we should read this. And once I heard about the Romantasy Readathon, I thought it would be the perfect time to read it, as I am part of the dark romance team and it's a dark fantasy romance. So I have very high hopes for this one. And then the next prompt for the dark romance readers team is going to be a morally gray character. And so I decided to pick A Court of Ruin and Ravens by Eliza Rain. This is also the group book for the readathon, so I think a lot of people will be reading this one, and I'm really excited about it. This one says, a defiant human woman, a dark fae prince, and 2 enemies bound to a marriage that could destroy their world. Sounds fantastic. Say no more. I don't need to know anything else. I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm just excited that a lot of people are going to be reading it as well, and hope that most of us end up enjoying this one. And the last prompt for the dark romance readers team is going to be a book that you're dying to get to. This was a hard prompt to pick because there's about a million fantasy romances that I'm dying to get to, but this one stood out a little bit to me, and that was A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I have seen this book everywhere on Bookstagram and BookTube, and I am so excited to see what all the hype is about. I have very high hopes. I feel like this is the book that I'm just most excited about, and I feel like I have the most like 5-star feels for. So in this book, our main character gets kidnapped by like a dark fae king, which we love, and I think fights her attraction to him, and she also has some like dormant powers laying within her that she is going to need to harness in order to escape this dark fae prince, and I think it sounds really fun. So that is my TBR, these 2 puppies and the Blood of Desiderium. I'm really excited for all 3 books. I really hope that I get a 5-star out of this week, and I'm just so excited for the Romantasy Readathon. So I'm actually filming this on the 11th, and the readathon starts tomorrow on the 12th, and I do think that Tori is hosting sprints tomorrow. So I think I'm gonna hop onto those and get started with one of those books. I haven't decided what I'm going to read yet, but I will definitely talk to you guys tomorrow with my first reading check-in and once the readathon has officially started. Hello beauties, happy first day of the Romantasy Readathon. I have had just the best day so far. I have started 2 books for the readathon, and I realized that in the month of February I have not read a fantasy yet. I've been on kind of a contemporary romance kick, which I love, but fantasy is my first love, so I'm really happy to be partaking in this readathon, reading some fantasies back with fairies and magical kingdoms and all of that good stuff. So as I said, I started 2 books. One of them was on my TBR for the Romantasy Readathon, and another one I decided to throw in shortly after I filmed that clip yesterday. Actually, I realized I wanted to throw in this 4th book as well. I don't know if I'll finish it by the time this readathon is over, and I'll explain why in a second. But the first book that I've started for the readathon is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. So this is a new adult fantasy romance. Our main character's name is Arwen. Arwen is a healer, and she has a very unique healing ability. Nobody has really seen a healer like her before, and her sort of power source and her lineage is a little bit unknown because most of the healers in this world are witches, but hers is a little different, so I feel like there is kind of some question of where she gets her power from. But in the kingdom that Arwen is living in, they have been decimated by by war. The Kingdom of Onyx, which is kind of the big bad kingdom in the land that they live in, has declared war on her kingdom, which is the Kingdom of Amber. And this kind of confuses everyone because Onyx is clearly the more powerful kingdom, and nobody really knows why the Kingdom of Onyx has declared war on Amber, who is definitely the weaker area. But this has really just absolutely decimated where she grows up, and everyone in her village is really struggling to survive. Arwen's brother has also been drafted into this war, so this is definitely an emotional thing for her and for her family to deal with. So that's kind of how the novel starts out, and then Arwen gets into some circumstances that end up getting her kidnapped by some Onyx soldiers. And Onyx are the enemy, so she thinks, I'm going to die, but she is able to keep herself alive by displaying her healing abilities, and the Onyx soldiers feel that that is valuable enough that they will keep her alive and take her back to Onyx with them. She ends up kind of staying at this castle stronghold area that all of the Onyx soldiers are at, and she heals the soldiers and tries to find a way out of this place because she wants to go home, she wants to go find her family, but she doesn't really know how, and she's kind of just trying to fight to survive at this point. The first night that she arrives at this Onyx castle, she is placed in the dungeons, and in the dungeon next to her is a very handsome, dark-haired, silver-eyed, sarcastic, and just kind of funny prisoner. She is very perplexed by him, and she's afraid of him, but she's also intrigued by him because he's a hottie, and the two of them sort of form a little bit of a bond just because they're kind of in this circumstance together. And that is just kind of where I'm at so far with the book. That's sort of the beginning. I am on page 102, so I'm not very far into it. I think 20%, but I think that this book is really fun so far. I like our main character, Arwen. I like this world that this author has built. It's this big landmass with all of these kingdoms divided up kind of by like gemstone colors. Like we have the Kingdom of Amber, we have the Pearl Mountains, we have like the Kingdom of Garnet, we have the Kingdom of Onyx. Like all of these different places kind of are represented by these different colors, which I feel like is a pretty simple but interesting enough way to build this world. I do really like the writing style. This book reads, I don't know if it's marketed as an adult fantasy romance. There is some mature subject matter for sure, but the way that this book is written, the way that the characters speak, the dialogue, all of that, I do feel like it's an maybe new adult kind of level of book, which isn't a problem at all, but I wouldn't call it like a true adult fantasy romance. There is definitely this light youthfulness to the writing style and to the characters, which I enjoy, don't get me wrong, but I do just want people to know that if you're interested in this book. It reads very similar to The Song of the Marked by S.M. Gaither. If you've read that book, I believe that is new adult as well, and I think that's what this is, really in between that like upper YA, lower adult kind of vibe that it gives off. Really excited to see how Arwen gets out of the situation that she's in. I will say, as somebody who has read a lot of fantasy and fantasy romance, this book does have very like similar and recognizable kind of storylines happening, and I feel like I can predict where things are going to go with a few plot lines that we have started here, but I don't think it's in a way that is boring or the predictability is bothering me. I think that's all in the way that an author writes the book, because sometimes when a plotline is super predictable, the author is just like shoving it in your face and you're feeling very like, okay, like obviously this is gonna happen. There isn't really anything exciting going on. But even though I do feel like I have an idea of what some of the plot twists in this book are going to be, this author has built an interesting world, a character to root for, a sarcastic and mysterious potential love interest, and we've met some side characters too that are really cool, and just I feel like this is like a light, fun fantasy romance, and I am really liking it thus far. I do want to get like pretty far into this book today. I'm not gonna set like a specific page goal, but I would love to definitely get in the 200s. This book is a little less than 500 pages, so she is a bit of a chunker, but I'm enjoying this so far. All right, and then I realized that I don't have an audiobook for this week, which isn't like a problem, but I realized that the 3 books that I wanted to read for this readathon, I don't think that they have audiobooks. A Court of Ravens and Ruin might, but basically I was like, man, I want to listen to an audiobook this week. I want to listen to something today while I'm cleaning, while I'm working this week, all of that. And after watching Hannah and Christina's House of Sky and Breath live show yesterday, I was like, you know what? I think I'm due for a reread. So I decided to throw in to this Romantasy Readathon TBR House of Sky and Breath. I read this book for the very first time when it came out last year. And actually, I realized this as I was like setting up my camera and everything today, that this week is the 1-year anniversary of this book being out. So like, what a perfect time to pick this book up. I love this book to death. It was such a fun read when I read it last February. I devoured it in like 2 days. I'm still shocked by this book, and because it's just been so long since I have picked it up, I wanted to reread it and just kind of refresh myself on a lot of the details in this book, and it has been nothing but pure joy. I did reread all of Sarah's books last year, and I didn't get to fit this one in, but I'm really glad that I'm picking it up now. So I am on page 156, so really just scratching the surface because this is an 800-page book, but I'm really, really enjoying this. Going to continue to listen to this audiobook while I clean up around the house today. I think that's it for updates. I'm going to read both of these books more today, and then later tonight maybe I will talk to you guys again with more reading updates. Hello friends, hi, how are you? Reading updates. I don't really have too many. I have a couple packages I want to open. I have like a very small reading update. I'm just feeling a little bit chatty, so I just want to say hello, show you guys what I got in the mail because I got 2 books that I'm very excited about, and tell you my plans for today. Today is day 2 of the Romantasy Readathon, and I need to make more progress in my books. I have read quite a bit of one of them, but I need to pick up the other. So this will be just a little all over the place check-in, which we love. Let me open the packages first. Let's shake it up. First of all, we have this. Oh my god, stunning. I got Powerless by Elsie Silver. I actually just finished reading this. This book came out on Friday and I finished it very quickly. I devoured it and I needed to add the physical book to my collection. These are also the like special edition covers of the Chestnut Spring series. I have these editions for Flawless and Heartless, and I love this. The purple, absolutely. The ballerina on the front, thank you very much. This is 100% going to be a comfort series for me that I reread in the future, and I'm just really happy that I'll have this on my shelves. So she is very stunning. And then I have this little number. This is from Fox and Wit, which is a company on Instagram that I found that makes special editions of books. And I think I ordered this in October, I want to say. It's been a minute. I kind of forgot about this, but then I saw it show up and I was like, oh my god. I am going to open this with my scissors really quickly. Okay, oh my god, are we ready? Oh, okay, first of all, I think this is the author's signature, which is pretty cool. I did not even realize that was coming with it. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'll put that in the book in a second. So it's all wrapped up and protected. I honestly I don't know what to expect. I'm kind of excited. I have an idea, but you know. Oh my god, this is so cute. So it's Alone with You in the Ether by Olivia Blake, and oh my god, it has the honeycomb theme. It has the astrophysicist theming for our boy Aldo. Very, very cute. Oh my god. Oh, whoa. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So this is the book, and I thought that like this was whatever. I opened this up and they kept the original dust jacket in too. Did they do that on purpose? Usually when a company makes custom dust jackets, they just send their own dust jackets. That's interesting. Well, I got 2 dust jackets for this, but I'm super excited. This is super, super cute. Very happy to have it on my shelves, and I have her little signature here as well, so that's exciting. Alrighty, so I have reading updates, as I said, very small. I've just been listening to the audiobook for Hosab, and it's been such a great time. It has been so lovely. I think that's why I'm just getting through this one faster, because I have the audiobook and I've just been running around doing errands today, working and listening to that, and it has been a delight. What I am finding extra enjoyable about this reread as compared to like rereading other books that I have is I feel like with Sarah's books, there is, when they come out, you're just like, oh my god, what is going to happen? What are the plot twists going to be? What crazy events are going to occur? What is this woman about to put me through? And while you're reading, I mean, you're having a great time. You're loving every second of it. You love the characters, the plot, everything. I mean, I was, at least, you know, when I was reading this, but I just felt like I was constantly almost like on edge. Like there's a stress, it's a good stress, but you're just kind of like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen? What do I need to look out for? There's all these little, you know, things that she puts in the book, and you're like, okay, what is that? Is that a red herring? Is that real? It's quite a frenzy. It's a lovely time and I love it. But when I first read this, I was just so like, I know she's gonna do something crazy in this book. And what I like about the reread is now that I know all of the plot points and the plot twists, everything kind of major that happens in this book, I am really able to just fully appreciate and have a lot of my attention on the characters and how they were written. And she really just dives even deeper with all the characters. We learn a lot more about them than we did from the first book. And so I think when you don't have that like like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen with the plot, you know, things are happening. I'm now on my reread noticing all these little things that she puts in about the characters and their interpersonal relationships with one another, and just those little things that she adds. I think that I mean, I love her plots and the way she writes characters. Like, I think she does both great, but I feel like her strongest point is how she writes characters and interpersonal relationships, and she puts so much care and attention into those things, which I really appreciate. There's so much detail into who these characters are, and I feel like on this reread, I'm just like soaking it up so much more. I'm just devouring these characters, really getting to understand them even more, and it just makes the reading experience so enjoyable. So I'm just having a really good time the second time around, and just like, oh my god, the foreshadowing, the freaking foreshadowing. I'm telling you, I just want to know, like, does Sarah have a spreadsheet with all of these little things and plot lines and Easter eggs and all of this written out? How does she keep it all straight? It is crazy, but it's really fun to reread and see how much thought and effort and just care she put into the characters, the plots. I just think that this book is so much fun and such a like treasure trove of a book, truly. I'm just soaking it all up. It's really enjoyable. So I have gotten a little bit farther into this book. I'm on page 264. I forget where I said I was yesterday, but I think I'm like a third, maybe a little bit over a third of the way through this book. So this is going very well, as expected. But today I really need to focus on A Dawn of Onyx. I really am enjoying this and I want to get farther into it. So I am holding myself off from reading Hosab for the rest of the day. I listened to it a little bit this morning, but I'm just gonna be done for the day and focus all of my free time and energy on A Dawn of Onyx. I really want to get through this book because I have 2 other books that I need to read by Friday, because I'm going to be ending the readathon a little bit early because I'm doing a 24-hour readathon this weekend. So the Romantasy Readathon is going to end for me on Friday. So I need to get cooking here. Those are gonna be my plans for the day, and I'm not gonna check in with you guys until I have done so, and I hope that that is tomorrow. So I think that's it for me. I just have a night of reading ahead of me, and I hope that I continue to like A Dawn of Onyx as much as I am, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Yes, we are doing this. This is happening right now. Jump scare warning. I obviously was not planning to film at this godforsaken hour of 10:30 p.m. on a Monday night, but I have a very important update. I have been reading A Dawn of Onyx for the past several hours. I am at the 60% mark, and I have some news. I think this book might be stunning. I think this book might be kind of gorgeous, and I'm loving it so much more than I was in the beginning. I was liking it. I was not a hater at all at any point in this book, but in the first 100 pages, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is cute, whatever. I'm not really sure how I feel about certain storylines, plotlines, whatever, the predictability of it all, yada, yada, yada. No, Kate Golden said, I see your predictability and I raise you interesting plotlines, and I am here for it. I am here. I am present. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm liking this book a lot more than I was in the beginning. It's really fun. I love the tension, the banter between these 2 characters. Hi, welcome. So great. Little bits of gray morality here and there. And I'm just like, I'm in it. I don't know. I feel like this book took a turn in the most exciting way, and I'm so thrilled by how things are turning out. I like our side characters. I like our girl Arwen. I like the politics in this kingdom. I love these, you know, division of kingdoms. You guys probably won't be able to see this, but the division of kingdoms by like gemstones and like the Pearl Mountains, Garnet Kingdom, Opal Territories, Courts of Rose, all of these just interesting places that hopefully we will be exploring either in this book or in future books, with some fun, kind of steamy interactions between our main character and the love interest. The love interest absolutely getting added to the book boyfriend roster. I don't care how this book ends. We're already writing his name on the list. I'm kind of loving. I'm kind of living. I don't feel like I'm even giving you guys like an accurate description of the book and why I'm liking it. I'm just kind of giving you my stream of consciousness right now, but we're into it. Basically, all I wanted to say was I was liking the book in the beginning, but I wasn't like, oh my god, obsessed. But like this book, just the more you get into it, once you kind of get past those first 100 pages, it's a little choppy, whatever. But then once it hits its stride, it's very fun, and the romance is just really great. And the plot is interesting too. And I'm just so excited to uncover all of these different sort of political secrets and things going on. And I'm having a ball. So I wanted to check in with you guys this evening because I think I'm going to finish this tonight. I have to know how this book ends. I have to know what the hell is going on. And I need to just see more of our two love interests. I don't think I want to go to bed. I think I want to finish this book. So that's why I wanted to update you all right now. All of this to say, we're loving, we're living, we're laughing. This book took a turn for the better and I'm very excited about it. So I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow after I finish this book and I form more coherent thoughts and I can kind of give you more of an idea of why I like this book. But just know I'm liking this book a lot more than I was when I first talked to you guys about this book. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Hello friends, it has been a minute since I have talked to you guys. It is Thursday and I have not talked to you guys since Monday. My apologies. I've had a week. I've had a week and a half, let me tell you. Truthfully, so Monday night was the last time we talked and I ended up staying up until 2 a.m. to read A Dawn of Onyx. We will get to that in a second. But to be like very honest, I started my period on Tuesday and I've just felt like crap basically all week. My symptoms have just been like really bad, like my cramps are really bad. I'm feeling super tired. So I haven't picked up the camera and I apologize for that, but I have been reading, which is good. So I have so many reading updates, like too many reading updates to be honest with you. I'm going to try to very quickly get through my thoughts on the books that I have been reading for the Romantasy Readathon, where I'm at with them, what I'm thinking, all of that jazz. So let's get started. Number 1, A Dawn of Onyx. What a delight. Honestly, this book was so much fun, you guys. As I said, when I started this, I was liking it, like fully liking it, but I just wasn't like gripped yet. I wasn't super, there was nothing that I was like, okay, yes, I'm into this. Once I got to like page 120 though, I was like, yep, absolutely, we're in this. Like I am very, very excited by the plot lines, by the characters and everything. This book was so much fun. The romance in this book, the enemies to lovers, the banter, the tension, this book had it all. It really, really delivered on those fronts. Our love interest is just like, he's amazing. I love him so, so much. And his and our main character's dynamic was really, really fun. There was also this, you know, introduced element of Fae and lore with the Fae and all of that, which is great. You guys know I love Fae. So that got me really, really excited. And I am so excited to read the next book, which comes out sometime this summer. There's no official release date yet, but the ending of this book was wild, you guys. There were so many plot twists. So much was revealed. It was crazy. I was having whiplash, but I was really, really enjoying myself. This book was just like such a great time. I did end up deciding to give this book 4 stars. It's a very strong 4-star. The only reason it did not get a 5-star from me was because the beginning, as I said, was a little like not bad, but I was just, the flow wasn't really there for me in the beginning. And then at the end, while I did love the plot twists, I feel like some of it was a little bit just like all the stuff was revealed and then it was just like, okay, it was accepted and we moved on. And I was just, I wish that we could have gotten a little bit deeper into those things, gotten a little bit more of that incorporated into the world building, because I think it would have had a bigger impact on me in the end. And yeah, but like not like super negative at all. I thought that this was so much fun. The writing was very fun and I'm into it. I'm into this book. I feel like this is a new series that I'm really excited about and you guys should read this. If you haven't read it, you need to read it and let me know what you think because it was a hoot. So 4 stars for this. Very excited about this and just feeling really, really good about this one. Oh, also I will say spice wise, because I have had some people ask me to kind of like be a little bit more I don't even know what the word is, but just kind of give you guys more of an idea of like how spicy a fantasy romance is. If we're working on a scale of like 1 to 5 spicy peppers, this is probably like a half a spicy pepper. There is stuff going on, but let's just say there is much left to be desired for book 2, and I'm excited about that. Honestly, if in a fantasy romance like trilogy, like let's assume this is a trilogy, I don't know, but in a fantasy romance series, if the couple is like all hunky-dory, happy, good times in the first book, like what do we have to look forward to? So all I will say is book 2 I think is gonna be great. So pick this up if that sounds good to you. Then we have A Court of Ravens and Ruin by Eliza Reign. So this is the group book for the Romantasy Readathon, and this book has been super, super fun so far. I feel like kind of the biggest takeaway I have for this book is it's a little lighter, it's a little more surface level, but it's still a very fun time. This book is a fantasy romance that has some Norse mythology inspiration, which is really cool. Our main character is Reyna. She's Fae. She lives in a world where there are, you know, a bunch of different courts, very classic fantasy romance romance for Faye. She lives in the gold court and she is a gold giver. She has an ability to, I think, create these like gold staffs, which give the royal Fae more power, basically makes them more powerful. So while Rhaena is very valuable, she does live kind of this life of servitude for the royals. In the beginning of the book, she ends up getting selected to be the concubine for the awful, terrible, disgusting leader of the gold court. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm running away. I'm getting the hell out of here because absolutely not. And conveniently, wouldn't you know it, while she is planning to go escape from the Gold Court, she ends up getting kidnapped by the Prince of the Shadow Court. And the Shadow Court, they're the big bad guys. She's heard nothing but terrible things about them. So she thinks, oh my god, I'm trying to escape one terrible court and I've just been kidnapped into a much more terrible one. And she kind of gets put into this betrothal with the Shadow Prince, and she's not happy about that. But I think there's a lot more that meets the eye to him. I'm excited to dive deeper into this one. I'm only like 30% of the way in. I'm on page like 100, but this book is like very fast paced, very fun. As I said, kind of a little bit surface level, but I'm not mad about that. I'm enjoying the book and I like the Norse mythology. So that's where I'm at with that. Still pretty early on, but a fun setup for the book for sure. All right, number 3, Blood of Desiderium, which I'm reading on my Kindle and I'm having feelings about. I'm not gonna say anything though, because I swear to God, I always jinx myself when I get too excited about a book too early. So I am not saying that I'm excited about this book, but we shall see. This is a dark adult fantasy romance, and it is definitely dark, you guys, so please check up trigger warnings before you pick this book up. So our main character, her name is Emma, and she is Fae because of course she is. And this book follows, you know, once again, has a similar setup of a lot of these other books where there's a kingdom and there's all these different courts separated out. She is the daughter of the king of the South Court. Her father is literally the worst. I am hoping for a death scene for this man, and he is absolutely awful. He abuses her physically and mentally. He is just very tyrannical. Like, he is awful. And she has basically lived a life of solitude because he does not allow her really to leave the castle, barely allows her to leave her room, honestly. And he also has put an iron collar. She describes it kind of like it's like a choker necklace. She has this like iron choker permanently on her neck, which her father put on her when she was very young to, like, you know, kind of temper down her powers. And so I have a feeling she probably is a threat to him power-wise. We haven't gotten an idea of how powerful she is, but that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, is that she's probably very strong. He discovered something about her, and so he needs to like cut that off so that she does not threaten him in any way. But the novel opens and she gets called to her dad's chambers, and he tells her that he has arranged a marriage for her, and the marriage will either be like of political benefit or military benefit to him. And the guy that she is getting betrothed to, his name is Aiden, and she does know Aiden. He is one of the few friends that she has, but she doesn't want to marry him because in her life she's never had any agency. She has never had any choice, and in this world we do have fated mates, which we love, and she knows about fated mates and she wants to experience that real intense bonded love, and she knows that Aiden is not her mate. So he's not the worst option for a partner. She's just like, I don't want this because it's decided by my dad and I hate him and he doesn't care about me, and Aiden, you're a nice guy, but like, I'm not into it. On the evening that she finds out about her engagement to Aiden, she decides that she's going to sneak into the little village that they live in this kingdom, because she wants to just go see how regular people are living. She wants to just go live, you know, she's feeling that her life is changing, the walls are closing in even more, and so she wants to just go and see real people doing real things. She walks through the village, it's very cute, it's very idyllic, and she sees families and all of that. And then all of a sudden she gets attacked by this kind of like almost possessed fae, and she almost dies, but she doesn't, because she ends up getting rescued by a hottie, I'm gonna presume. He is this big, you know, staggering fae male, as they called him in fantasy romance. But immediately, even though he saves her, she's very distrusting of him. She's like, who are you? Like, what's going on? Why did that guy attack me? And they have a little bit of like a vicious sort of meet cute, and but they have like this really just amazing banter going back and forth. She is very cautious of him, but of course she is also very intrigued by him, because one of the very classic tropes in fantasy romance that I love, I don't know, other people might find it annoying, but I eat this up every time, is when they have like that cedar and leather and rain and wind scent. You guys know what I'm talking about. She likes his scent, you know, and she's feeling feelings, and they're just kind of, their bodies are pressed up against each other in this alleyway as their knives are to each other's throat. It is everything. It is everything. I am a sucker for that. I'm sorry. I don't care. It is fantastic. But all this to say, oh my god, I'm so like long-winded, but I'm like really into their dynamic. I am excited about this. We did get a POV from this potential love interest, which I'm very excited about, so it is dual POV. I'm just so excited to see more of these two together, because they're very different and they were bickering a lot, and it was so good. I just think that this book is going to be very interesting, and I hope that it continues to be as good as it has been so far. So that's the update. I tried to do that as quick as possible. But yeah, so we are working our way through this Romantasy Readathon TBR, but the first book of this readathon was a 4-star, which is fantastic. I am also reading OSAB. I'm not necessarily gonna finish this before the readathon is over. I don't know. I don't need to finish it before the readathon is over. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but if not, I'll just keep reading it this weekend. But obviously this is going fantastic, and yeah, that's what's going on with me. As I said, today's Thursday. It is Thursday evening, getting close to dinner time, and I need to read. I need to get through these books. I need to make major headway in Blood of Desiderium. It's almost 600 pages, and I think I'm on page like 100. So I need to get it in gear, you know, make some headway with these books, and fingers crossed, you guys. I just really hope that this ends up being good, because I really like the writing thus far, and like the setup and everything, and like their dynamic was so cute. So anyway, so yeah, that is it. I'm just going to be spending the evening making my way through these books. That's gonna be it for me. So I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you guys. Hello, besties. So today is the last day of the Romantasy Readathon for me. As I said earlier, I'm doing a 24-hour readathon this weekend, so I decided to end the Romantasy Readathon early on Friday, and it is Friday. So I have finished the 2 books that I was still reading, Court of Ravens and Ruin and then Blood of Desiderium. I did want to check in before I finished them, but I put all of my footage onto my computer, and the raw footage for this vlog is already over an hour. I have not edited it yet, but I was like, no, I'm not checking in again, because I apparently have just been so chatty this week. So I decided to spare you guys from a feature-length film, and I ended up finishing the books, and now I'm doing my final check-in. So first, I finished Court of Ravens and Ruin. This was a fun book. I feel like my feelings pretty much stayed the same throughout this entire reading experience. I think this is a light, cute, fun fantasy romance. It doesn't have exceptional world building or like magic systems or anything like that. It's definitely more, I think, of a romance heavy book, and the fantasy is kind of just on the side, but it was fun and I still did really enjoy it. From an enjoyment standpoint, this is definitely a 3-star book for me, but this was still an enjoyable time. I thought it was cute and fun. I liked our characters. The dynamic between our 2 love interests was fun, and just overall a very fun book. So I gave this one 3 stars. All right, and then Blood of Desiderium. I may have jinxed myself, you guys. Here's the thing. I feel so conflicted about this book. I have a lot of feelings. So the romance, I think, was great. It was very well done. It was a really good enemies to lovers, like dark, morally gray character, and then, you know, our main character is this very, you know, naive to the world, but, you know, wants to fight back, wants to be stronger, wants to do good things, and their 2 kind of opposite personalities and outlooks on life came together in a very fun way. The romance was really the highlight, and I loved it. But this book is 550 pages long, and oh my god, it was too long. I'm sorry, like, this book was too long. And here's the thing, a fantasy romance can be like 550 pages and be very well done. I have seen it done before. But the issue is that the length of this book was not because of, in my opinion, tons of world building and magic systems and creating lore and history and adventure and things like that. We had so much of the main character just like monologuing a lot, just really kind of going deep into her brain, her psyche, how she feels, everything like that, which is important, which I do appreciate, but it was too much. It was too long, and she wasn't giving us, you know, that kind of internal monologue of like what was happening like in the moment or anything like that. It was just a lot of more like introspection, and I found it to be kind of boring. And also there wasn't a ton of like dialogue in this book. I noticed. I finished it and I was like, I definitely feel like this book lacked in conversation, which is like my favorite part of a book, I guess. You know, like if a book doesn't have a ton of conversation happening, I mean, I think it could have had way more. The ratio of conversation versus just like internal monologue and kind of just descriptions and all of that, not my thing, to be honest. So the romance being good, really good. I really liked it. I had fun watching that romance blossom, but coupling that with the long descriptions and being inside our main character's head, I think just a little bit too much. Not enough action happening until obviously the end of the book. We get lots of action, okay, but really not a whole lot happens, and it's 550 pages. I really think this book could be like 150 to 200 pages shorter, to be honest with you, and I don't think that that would take away from the impact of our character's being and who she is and what she's been through, and I think that the romance could have done well, and we could have gotten an idea of the world. So I am going to give this book 3 stars as well. It's not bad, but like the romance was really like the highlight, which is great, don't get me wrong, but the reason that I love fantasy romance is because fantasy is like my favorite genre, and coupling that with romance just makes it like extra special. And I feel like the fantasy elements of this book just were kind of half-baked, weren't quite all the way there. So that's gonna be a 3-star for me. Please, if you are interested in this book, check trigger warnings and know that it is a dark romance. There's definitely just some dark themes with the romance and just with the book overall. So definitely check that out. If this book sounds good to you, I want more people to read this book because I am curious what others think of it. And it has very, very few reviews on Goodreads. It's definitely not a bad book, just not kind of my preferred setup for a fantasy romance. And then finally with Hosab, I'm not gonna finish this before the vlog is over. This will probably just turn into like my kind of passive read that I do that I don't vlog for the rest of the week, but obviously this was wonderful. And I got like a third of the way through, maybe 40% of the way through. So this is going really well, but because it's a reread, I'm just going to keep reading this past this vlog, but obviously we love her. So that is going to be it for my Romantasy Readathon reading vlog. I wanna say thank you so much again to Tori for creating this Romantasy Readathon, for hosting it. It was so much fun. I had such a great time. Everyone, please go read Dawn of Onyx. I want more people to read this and I want to hear what other people think. And this was definitely like the highlight of my week. She was stunning. And that is going to be it for me. So I really, really appreciate that you guys watched this video. Please make sure to follow my Instagram and my Goodreads. Both are linked down below. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so, so much. And I will catch you guys in the next one.